People call me a redneck. We tend to want to measure things in their extremes, especially bad things, because it makes us feel better about ourselves. Because if we had to actually look at our own lives and examine our own lives, we might not like what we see. If we had to ask ourselves, how is it that I'm contributing to hatred or disrespect, we might not like what we see. So it's a lot easier just to look at organized hate groups and say, at least I'm not that bad. I was the kind of racist that used racial slurs and told racial jokes, perpetuating myths, stereotypes, and exaggerations. I was the kind of racist very much like the one Malcolm X talked about. I had friends who were black, Hispanic, Asian, friends to whom I acted one way to their face and another way behind their back. Friends to whom I thought I was being polite by watching what I said when I was around them, yet behind closed doors I'd show my true colors. What I thought was being polite was actually being nothing more than a hypocrite. And in this book, he talks about how you must train a soldier to dehumanize the enemy. Because if you don't, in the heat of battle, he won't shoot. And if you think about it, that makes complete sense. Because if you're in the heat of battle and you're looking across your weapon and you have that enemy sighted up, and on the other side of the battlefield, the enemy has his weapon and he has you sighted up. You have one another in your sights. It's just a matter of who's going to shoot first. If for one split second you think to yourself, you know what? That's somebody's dad. That's somebody's brother. That's somebody's son. That's somebody's daughter. If you think that for one split second, and that enemy has been effectively trained to dehumanize you, you're dead. You're dead. Now, I'm not making a statement for or against war. What I'm saying is that I find it interesting in our culture, in our society, how we look past the dehumanizing things that we say to each other every single day, the dehumanizing ways that we treat each other on a daily basis, whether you're talking politics, whether you're talking in our communities, or whether you're talking in our schools, and we think it's no big deal when it's exactly how we train our soldiers to kill. It wasn't until I got to college that I found out I was a redneck. See, where I'm from, where we lived, we were all kind of the same. Yes, they called us a bunch of hicks and farmers, right? And in high school, I would have said, yeah, we're a bunch of hicks. But in high school, I'm much more likely to have been labeled as a jock. I was Athlete of the Year my senior year of high school. In fact, I was inducted into my high school athletic hall of fame about 20 years ago. No, it wasn't until I got to college, though, that people started to label me as a redneck. Because it wasn't until I got to college I started to interact with people from big cities. I started to interact with people from rich suburban areas of those cities, and those people, they had never seen somebody like me before. See, I do think the world creates these artificial barriers. They say these people can't get along with these people, this group can't get along with this group, this person can't get along with this person. I think they're all liars. All it takes is for somebody to have the courage to step across that invisible line, and that could be you.